welcome back. This is still episode 11, the Untamed and Unapologetic podcast, episode 11, part dos. We were talking about, part 2.
Yes.
The wearing our imaginary body armor and how to break through that. So it's a continuation of part 1. We have some talking points and we are going to dive right in.
Yes.
I am Christy. This is
Laura.
We are sisters.
Yeah. And if you've never listened to our podcast before, this is, this is a podcast for anyone, but mainly, women of a certain age, of an important age.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Perimenopausal, menopause.
Going through it.
Even younger women who, you can look forward to all the magic that you get to look forward to.
It's good to know ahead of time. No one
ever tells
my
you.
Friends in town. We keep saying this over and over. No one told me.
No one told me.
No
one
one
talk
told
about
me.
it.
Like all these things. I was like, no one told me. She's like, no one told me. It was everything in life. Like no one tells you the important stuff.
Yeah, no one tells you. We're telling you the important stuff here.
This is important stuff. So
it's good.
Yeah. The first talking point we have is the loss as we age and become who we are today, the loss of sensuality, when pleasure feels unsafe because you're in survival. Pleasure becomes unsafe because you're in survival. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? Have you experienced that? Survival. And when I say survival mode, it's really a lot how our lifestyles are in the modern world. So you're working. You have to, whether you have young kids or teenagers, you're getting your kids to school, you're busing them around to their activities, you're trying to figure out what the family's going to eat, you're trying to get your own sleep, maybe you're trying to do a workout, all these things, get the laundry done. So that is, you're rushing. I heard somebody say in a podcast this morning, she's like, I don't rush. If I know I don't double, I try not to double book anymore. I say, no, but double booking, like 2 things like back to back. Sometimes it happens, but it's like that's the rushing. That means you're in survival mode. You're exhausted. So you lose, because sensuality is really so feminine. It's resting. And it's like,
and it is very much so. I mean,
part of it.
Think about it. Women, and let's just talk sensuality, sex, the act.
Mm-hmm.
Women receive.
Yeah, women are the receivers.
We are the
Even
receivers.
Physically, right.
Even physically, we are the receivers.
Yeah.
So if you are in survival mode, you can't feel sensuality. Sex is out the window.
Yeah.
You can't receive if you're in this heightened state of rushing survival. Like it's impossible.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to get, to switch mode. We're not light switches. Click, click.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're tired and you're just doing the act to please somebody else
that's a whole nother separate podcast, which is sometimes that's called maintenance sex.
Yeah, that's too.
And
it's
that can be okay. But
we're talking about sensuality.
Let's just talk
to receive for ourselves. Like sensuality is like something that we give without having to, just by beingness.
Perform.
Yeah. I just remember, I was telling someone this is kind of embarrassing, but I remember being so tired because I was working so much and being next to my boyfriend at the time. And I remember dreaming about sex with him. And he was right next to me, but I was like so tired. The physical act of it, I was like, I need the sleep.
Right.
But my body, like I wanted to I was like, oh my God, I just dreamed about having sex with somebody next to me. There's like, something is wrong with my life. I was like, that is not good. And I was just like, I'm so tired though. Like I want to do it, but I need my sleep.
I can't.
That is a part of being in survival mode. It's like, there's no sensuality there because you're exhausted. And when you're exhausted, which is like a lot of us working, that's how our lives are supposed to not be, And I think women we work like men now, and our bodies, our hormones are not set up for it. We're not supposed to work like the longer hours or late or be as stressed. Like we are women. Like I said, we are the receivers. We are the creators. We are supposed to That's what I learned from Danny Morell is like, on Sunday, you guys are supposed to do nothing. You're supposed to just sit and like attract and be like the muse.
Yeah.
Like
the muse, like, we're just yeah.
And it's like, well, our energy is not, we don't have that muse energy because we're rushing around. Like we don't even know. It's like tapping into it. Yeah. It's like you have to learn how to tap into it. And that's almost like, I feel like it's almost coming back in midlife. It's like, oh, okay, I could be that person again. I could just be and like watch and see. And it is a beautiful energy, but it's very hard. It's also hard because you're in the survival mode of doing, like we talked in the last podcast.
Right, trying to get that
that's
back.
your self-worth. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to find like, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah.
Sensuality.
Yeah, that's, yeah, getting to that is difficult. And I think, especially if you're in a relationship, you know, there can be an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think this is where, and I'm going to use, for our purposes here, heterosexual relationships, men, women. This is where I think men need, I think it's important that they educate themselves around menopause, at least to, you know, and what's going on, because they need to know, they need to understand sort of what's happening. So they don't, first of all, so they don't think like, okay, you know, is it me? She doesn't care. She, you know, I'm, you know, she pushes me off and all this is kind of thing. There needs to be communication on both sides, obviously. So that's very important. But, you know, maybe if she's in this survival mode, like maybe you guys just need some physical, sensual touch. Maybe there's just like a back rub that doesn't have to lead to sex.
Yeah.
And she needs to know that, like, I'm going to give you this back rub. Cause a lot of times, like in a relationship like that, it's like, oh, he's giving me a back rub because he's hoping at the end of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always,
you know, right. But
foreplay. It's always foreplay.
It's foreplay. But there needs to be a communication that like, hey, this is not, I'm not doing it for this purpose.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be, you need to be freed of that expectation.
Yes. You're not performing all the time. Right?
That like, I'm going to give you this back rub. And if you fall asleep at the end of it, like that's acceptable. There's no guilt, because a lot of times, like I've been in that position where it's like gotten a back rub and then it's like, I'm feeling guilty.
Right. Yeah.
Like about not then performing at the end.
Right. Yes,
and that should not be a thing.
Right. That's where the communication comes.
Right. So that's, so, you know, things like that. And then what I think.
What do you need?
What do you
need?
need?
A back rub with nothing else.
Right. What do you need? And I also though,
or a foot rub.
Just like when we talk about, actually, I'm going to bring it back to lifestyle and fitness and exercise. Things are cumulative. So like you can't lose weight overnight. You don't get fit overnight. So it's not that you missed a workout. It's that you do workouts. So you miss one workout, but have you been working out consistently 2 or 3 or 4 times a week for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, years?
Yeah.
Are you eating well most of the time? Yeah. Are you going to lose the weight?
Yeah.
Well, what people don't understand is, okay, so you get that back rub. Like if you're communicating constantly, that's sort of that. Are you able to feel sensual one day and then sort of, I get sort of this freedom built into my life with my partner where I don't always have to perform. Well, now it's like I'm feeling more comfortable. I get to relax. Maybe now I am finding my sensuality more on a regular basis with my partner. Now there is more sex. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like there's more safety built into this relationship. I'm feeling more comfortable because there always isn't this expectation for me to perform every time I get a back rub. I'm just using a back rub as an example.
It's even like, how do you, my wife won't have sex with me. Well, I'll do the dishes every night. You know what I mean?
Like why don't you?
Oh, like, ooh, all of a sudden he's sexy again. He's vacuuming.
Right.
You know,
but like, I don't think, but people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And people don't communicate it. And it's hard. I'm not saying it isn't.
Right. Yeah.
You know, And yeah, let's
when you help me out, I feel more relaxed and I could be more myself. And then I was like, then I feel more sensual.
yeah,
It just makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
communicating that.
yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes you're burned out. It's you hit the pillow and yeah,
yeah.
and that's it. You know, it's tough. It's tough.
This is hard. Yeah, that is a good. Oh, so this is the next talking point. The grief of letting go of who you had to be and maybe who you had to be in your younger self. And I feel sometimes it's like I always feel like I had to be all things to myself. Like I'm the provider. I have to nurture myself. I have to like keep myself going. It's like I had to be all the things, right? It's like
All
to
the
keep
time.
myself all the time to keep myself going. Like especially my younger self. And it's like, how can it look moving forward if I release some of that and asking, it's almost like asking for help in certain ways.
Oh, yeah,
Or not
asking for
feeling
help.
like I have to do everything myself.
Uh-huh.
And like releasing that is very hard because it's tied to my self-worth. Like I can do everything myself. I don't need anyone.
I don't need to ask.
I don't
right,
need to
yeah.
ask. I can do it all. Like I'm a strong woman. I can do everything. It's just like, but why do you need to? Like, what would it feel like if you just like let go of that? And I feel difficult. That's challenging to be. And I think it would be ultimately,
that's hard.
I think it would be nice. Oh, you just let somebody do something for you. Or it's not that people don't do, everyone always has, no one does anything all themselves.
Right.
But yeah, who would you be if you just let go a little bit each day? And what
Right.
does that even mean? Again, something
Right.
to ponder.
Yeah. Ask people to help. Yeah, that's
The grief of letting go. And I did say I had when I
you
shifted
had a-
careers from when I left law enforcement, it became my identity. And it was very much tied to, and people, I know my younger sister said this about teaching because she still is in the school system, but she left teaching and she's like, no, but I'm still a teacher. Because that's so tied to your
She's
identity.
sort of in administration
now.
Right.
And I go, when you switch, I go, again, like no one tells you. I go, it's a loss and you have to suffer the grief of it. The loss of your old identity is coming crashing down and who you were is so tied to it. And now you're like, I don't know who I am because I'm this person that was like detective and law enforcement doing this all the day. And now I'm not that person. I was like, who the heck am I? And do I have any self-worth? Like I'm no one. And then when I was traveling, after I retired, I was telling my friend this. I was in Denver and I couldn't sleep for whatever reason. All of a sudden it hit me. And then I started just like crying like randomly. Like I go for coffee and just like the urge to cry. And it wasn't like I knew it was like a release.
Right.
And I knew, I was like, what is going on that I'm just like, I'm going to get a latte. And I'm like, and my mom's like, are you okay? What's going on? I go, no, it's not like a bad thing, but
Right.
I am mourning my old identity. And it takes time, but I was like, I'm mourning that identity that I have. And it just, my body was like letting
Letting
go
it go.
all, and I had all these memories come up because when you're in the process of working and doing, you don't have time to like sit and think. And then all of a sudden I was like by myself and I had all this time to think. So it was like processing your whole life and it just releasing. And it was like, yeah, I couldn't sleep. I was just crying. I'm like, I'm a hot mess. But I also knew it was like a positive hot mess.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
like, I knew my body I was like, I'm just going through what my body needs to go through. I had the awareness that it wasn't like,
Well,
no,
that's
it's
good,
not
yeah.
depression. Yeah, it wasn't like, I'm like, no, it's just
Not depressed.
not depressed. I'll get through it and it's fine. It's just like cappuccino. Like I couldn't order a freaking coffee without like crying. It was like, thank God no one knew me there.
What's wrong with this crazy person?
And it was just like, oh, my body's just releasing. And it was like,
Yeah.
before I was like never crying in front of no one. I'm here at the coffee shop just crying. And so, yeah, it was definitely interesting, but it was a letting go. But no one says like, no one tells you, it's like your grief is not just a loss of a person. It's a loss of your home or a relationship or again, your identity. And
Right.
you're going through the grief. And when I like understood that, I was like, oh, it's just the grief of shedding. And part of that old person will always be with me, which is powerful too, which I think is kind of the next question is who did I become to survive and how does she still serve me? How do you feel like who do you become to just live in society and survive everything you went through? And how does that, because there's strengths also, like how does that
Right.
person that you had to become it's all about your armor that you had to
Right.
create this armor, this identity that was like tough. And again, that's not really a feminine energy, but it's also there's positives.
Right. I do think, like, for me, my strength, my stoicness, whatever, has served me in my parenting, in that my daughter will definitely test me, and she's at that age where she's a teen and she's not pleasant often, and she's very snotty. And sometimes she says things that are quite mean to me. She can be very snippy and nasty, and I have to, and rather than get into it, which we do, there's a lot of times where I will stop myself and I will just think, you're the adult here. I'll say it in my head. You're the adult. Don't respond. The proper response is no response. And at least, and maybe not the response. And it's not good to respond now because you're not in a good place to respond. You would be angry and it wouldn't come out proper, and maybe you need to address it, but it's not, not currently. And so that sort of armor of, like, being able to sort of shut out your emotions serves me in that time.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that purpose, like, there've been times she said things to me that were, like, really hurtful, and I've, like, wanted to actually cry. And I'm like, you can't, like, because me crying in that moment, I think wouldn't serve her, and that would make her feel so,
like, empowered, maybe, like that.
No, not like, I think they would make her feel so terrible that it just would, me sitting down with her later and saying, hey, do you remember when you told me, you said XYZ? Yeah, that was really hurtful to me. Like, me being able to say that in a calm way, I think is way better than me, like, breaking down and crying in the car because she said something. I think that would be way, I don't think that would be helpful to her as a young teen, because she's 14, right? I think me, like, being able to sort of take it and then talk about it later is much more helpful as a parent, rather than me, like, blowing up into a hot mess.
Right,
totally different in that situation.
Yeah, because dealing with teenagers,
because she's a teen. I'm the adult in
You're
that.
the adult, yes.
It's not two adults. If it was you sitting next to me and you said, and I could cry, totally different.
Totally different.
She's still a child.
Yeah,
that would not be helpful.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Yes, it served me in that regard.
Yeah, you have right. Yeah, exactly.
But other ways,
I think that, exactly. And you have the stoicism and resilience. It's like, well, I can deal with a lot, and I am resilient and strong. And that is also a positive.
It is a positive.
It's just like, I still like that side of me.
Right.
And like, sometimes it was like a little bit, I had the armor on, protecting myself, but I was like, there's also that side of me. I was like, I know I can get through anything. I'm, like, very resilient. And I was like, I know whatever comes my way, I will get through it because I've done it before. I've had to, and I pressed through, and mostly I've had, like, a really good life, but I was like, I know it does protect you, but there's always positives in it. And I can help other people now that I'm at this place in my life. Right.
Yeah.
So but it's definitely, like I said, the more I study, like, somatics now, the more of, like, things, what you hold in your body still needs to be released. So it's like, can I use that? How can I use that strength and also, like, let go and release? Like, how do I shift it into feminine energy? And I remember telling people, when, like, law enforcement and a lot of jobs are, like, women are in, like, quote unquote masculine jobs, right? Like firemen, police, like even doctors and stuff. It's, like, considered masculine. And I go, when you bring in that feminine energy, I go, whenever I brought in the feminine energy, I realized it was so, because it's like, I'm not as strong as some of the guys. I don't have that. Yeah. So I have to bring in that feminine energy to get people, to sway people a certain way, right? To get people to cooperate with me. And I realized how powerful it really was. And then it's like, you don't have to try to be a man, because that doesn't work. You're not a man. Women will do that. And you're not a small man. But when
you're not, but
you can persuade people in that, like, I just, with that feminine energy is so much more powerful than, as I got older, I realized, like, that's, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So
trying to ride that out. Yes, definitely.
So again, I'll read it one more time. So, who did I become to survive, and how does that still serve me? So that will be, like, the question that we will leave you with. How does your survival skills, that strength you built, even if you want to release some of it or like let go, how does it serve you still today?
Yeah. Yeah.
With that,
stay untamed and unapologetic. We'll see you next podcast. Bye-bye.